Lamar Lee, Max Life Investment Group. You are now watching Max Life IGTV. Before I take somebody's advice or opinion about a particular subject, I got to be willing to take their results in that area. Before I take somebody's opinion, I must first take their lifestyle. Credit is purchasing power. That's why they love to give you credit to purchase their products. Access to capital drives economic growth. Conversely, little to no access to capital stunts economic growth at all levels. I don't care what level you're talking about, whether it's a person, a family, a neighborhood, community, city, state, country. Show me a person, place, or business that has little to no access to capital, little to no access to credit, and I guarantee you're showing me a person, place, or business that's in distress. Most of the money in the system is not really money, it's credit. That is a great thing if it's financing productivity that can pay back the debt. It's bad when it finances consumption. For example, if you borrow money to buy a semi-truck that you use to haul goods up and down the highway, that's good debt. That's debt that's being used to finance productivity. If you borrow money to buy a car that you use to drive around the city, but it doesn't produce anything, that's bad debt, that's consumption. Over time, asset prices rise, which means you have to borrow more money to acquire more assets, which lowers how much cash flow you yield from an investment. The more asset prices rise, the more debt rises. Debt can only rise faster than income for so long. At some point, there's not enough cash flow to service the debt, and now you have to sell off your assets to pay your creditors. Then it starts all over again. So what does that mean? That means if you're going to use credit to build wealth, you have to master managing debt. I'm constantly checking the pulse of my business. My financial statement tells me where I need to direct my energy and my resources. Those of you who already know me know my game is real estate. Real estate is a local game. It's a local business. And being very active in the market allows us to see the market and the environment change as it's happening. And if you study history and patterns, you get a glimpse into where the economy is headed in terms of inflation, what happens when the government prints money, how to prepare to play in a high interest rate environment. You got to be a pro in your approach to using debt to build wealth. You cannot be an amateur and win in this game at a high level. Master running the numbers. Is it a good investment? I don't know. I need to see the numbers. Should I buy this business? I don't know. I got to see the numbers. Should I buy this investment property? I don't know. Show me the numbers. Knowing your numbers will enable you to sidestep financial situations that might otherwise trip you up. The investors who make it a habit of risking it all and they're successful in doing so in their 20s and 30s find a way to lose it all by their 40s and 50s. I never wanted to get rich quick. I wanted to get rich for sure. Prudence. You want to manage debt prudently. A person who doesn't want to think or learn to take risks, their only option is to work for somebody who does. Credit is money for rent. When you borrow money, you're leasing money. You're paying to use somebody else's money for a certain amount of time. The big questions are, how much is it going to cost you? How long can you use it? And when do you got to return it? Once you know the rate, term, and pay schedule, then you compare it to different investment opportunities. For example, if I borrow $1 million at an 8% interest rate with a 5-year term, as long as it has no restrictions, I can go buy $1 million worth of income producing real estate. If it produces a 15% yield on the total capital basis, that means it produces enough cash flow to pay the debt at 5% and pay me 10%. How do we pay them back? We refinance or sell the property and use the equity to pay back the creditors. How often can you do that? Well, that depends on your ability to find, close, and manage deals and then manage debt. This is my belief when it comes to investing and managing in business. Before you can manage and multiply other people's money, you got to be able to manage and multiply your own. Credit allows you to spend money you haven't made yet. You're able to spend more money than you make now, but you have to spend less money later in order to pay the debt. Unless you're using money to make money, stay out of debt. Stay out of debt. But if you're using credit to purchase something that produces enough money, enough cash flow to service the debt, then you're good to go. Use debt to produce, not consume. Debt is a double-edged sword. If you know how to use it, sky's the limit financially. If you don't use it correctly, there's a good chance you'll lose more than what you can afford to.